Welcome back to the KEMPIRE Daily YouTube channel, where we talk about some of the hottest topics in music, entertainment, and even reality TV. As always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out when we go live or when we upload. In today's video, you know we love the Real Housewives. Specifically, now we're talking and covering the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and they filmed their new reunion just yesterday. And so much information is coming out. You know, we talked about this before on my social media, and we've been following and covering this lukewarm season of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Well, now, according to Tamara Tattles, and I'll post a link directly to the full article, I'm just going to give you a quick synopsis of the highlights from the situation. As you know, they've been filming the Real Housewives reunions here in New York City, I believe because they are able to actually have a COVID-friendly space. Well, according to Tamara Tattles, they decided not to use the Biltmore Ballroom in downtown Atlanta like they've been using. And if you remember those reunion episodes when Andy would go to their rooms, they were always sort of like these makeshift rooms with like cloth. I always noticed that. I was like, that's really kind of bootleg looking. The same place that they filmed the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion is the same place that they filmed the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion just yesterday in New Jersey. Anyway, so here are some of the details from this reunion. So according to Tamara Tattle, she says this, Bravo and Truly Original mainly chose New Jersey where they filmed the reunion due to financial considerations. In the future, the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunions will likely tape in the New York City area. The thing to keep in mind too, and I keep seeing signs that Bravo is making cutbacks financially, and it could be, and I've said this multiple times as well, is that creating a COVID-free environment, all the things that have to go in place with testing and, you know, just there's so many elements to keep everything sanitized and everyone safe. It's very costly for these productions. And I see that they're making those sorts of cutbacks. And don't be surprised if we start to see these cutbacks be made on OGs in regards to people's salaries, who's coming back and who's not coming back. But we'll talk about it. I just want to get into this tea because there's just so much information and I want to make sure I give everything to you guys. So for those that didn't think that Latoya was going to make it to the reunion, she does make it to the reunion. She tested negative for COVID, and I shared it on my social media, a video of her getting ready for the reunion. So one of the details that Tamara reveals is that in regards to how they got there, as for the cast, she's reporting exclusively that they traveled to New York City in waves. Kenya and Brooklyn, of course, Candy, Cynthia, and Marlo traveled via charter jet. Everyone's just flying private with some Atlanta-based producers. Shamia, Drew, and Ralph. Porsha traveled first class on Delta together. Latoya Vaughn traveled on a separate Delta flight. Damn, she didn't travel first class? Damn, friend of, sorry. There's definitely a divide in the group. You could definitely see there's a divide in the group, but it's interesting to see because the producer that, or I'm not going to say, the person that leaked this information to Tamara Tattles gives us an order of who really shined in this reunion. And the theme of the reunion, of course, is dungeon-esque, dungeon inspired. You can only imagine. So it's going to be all dark colors, red, gray, and black. And they all look good in those colors. So this should be interesting. And Drew better have brought it in regards to the fashion. I heard that she did bring it in regards to the mouth. My Taurus sister. So who brought it the most? I know you guys already probably know this. It's either who? Kenya or Porsha. And according to Tamara Tattles and her exclusive source, it was Porsha. Porsha, they say, brought it. And she owns the whole Bolo situation. She says she's a grown adult. If it happened with her and Bolo, I don't think they could ever really confirm it just because I don't think it's a good look for Bolo or the network in regards to bringing in someone that was hired to do a job and he's sleeping with the cat. I just don't think professionally it's going to be looked at professionally as a good thing. I think there's a lot going on there. That they're not talking about. But the biggest issue, so Portia's standing out in this particular situation. She's saying, you know, she's a grown adult. She doesn't know why Kenya continues to want to have this feud with her, and we understand why. But Portia, you know, and there's still a divide between her and Marlo. She feels, you know, I said it. She said that she feels that Marlo is weak and gullible. I hope they address that in the reunion. No word on that yet. Marlo's in this list of people that really brought it in this reunion. But one of the things that she allegedly said during this reunion about Marlo, she said that Marlo needs to let the peach holders carry the show because she's doing double the work for half the pay. You know, Portia's gotten better with her reads and her shade, and she might have a point. But when she was asked on the cast, does she consider a friend outside of the group? She said only Shamia and Drew, her new friend. And Cynthia was like, you know how Cynthia is. You know when they always ask her a question and Cynthia's not included. She's like, because, you know, you would think, but you remember that episode where Cynthia kicked her, right? Anyways, I digress. So who do you think came in number 2? Of course, Kenya. So again, Kenya, they're asking Kenya about her relationship with Mark. She gives a answer that doesn't answer anything. Kenya, this is where when I try to defend you, like I can't defend you. Kenya's fighting against not just Porsha, but Drew and Latoya. Anyway, she told Drew that no one wanted to join the group. No one wanted her to join the group. And she did her a favor by even acknowledging her this season. I did have that thought. The fact that she even got into something with Kenya really kind of stepped Drew up a little bit. I'm interested to see what Drew will bring next season, because allegedly we're hearing that she contractually has to be brought back for next season because she included that in her contract. Okay, boss moves. And then also Kenya accuses Latoya of making up storylines. And this comes up again a little bit later on. It's so crazy to see because we honestly saw Latoya and Kenya really have a bond, and I was kind of hoping that would last. But you know, with Kenya. Speaking of Latoya, she comes in number 3 according to this exclusive source in regards to the people that actually brought it in this reunion. And I'll post a link to Tamara Tattle's story in the description of this video so you can read it on your own, because I'm giving you a synopsis and then I'm giving you my reaction. So this is what they're saying about Latoya and what she did during this reunion. So they're making these allegations that Latoya used to call Kenya with plot lines against Drew and Porsha. When Kenya didn't take the bait, she switched over to Porsha, Drew, Marlo, and Shamia and tried to do the same. And we saw this during the season. So it's starting to make sense. And we've all been saying it. Latoya is just doing too much. She's trying to create a storyline. And I said it recently, she's going to ice herself out because no one's going to trust her. No one's going to want to film with her. And what I'm hearing based on this article, it looks like Latoya might not be coming back. So, of course, you know, Latoya gets into it with Drew because they've been getting into it throughout the season. But there's some more accusations. And, you know, we saw it in the previews for the upcoming episodes against Latoya that Drew brings against Latoya in regards to promiscuous behavior, allegedly. So that comes up again at the reunion. They're saying, and I'll just read this verbatim, because you remember Latoya originally was supposed to be one of the housewives, but because of the situation going on with her husband, or soon to be ex-husband, that's why she did not become one of the official housewives. So this is what Tamara Tell is saying exclusively, and this is what they're exclusively reporting, that in one of the scenes that they filmed this season, that she was telling everyone, Latoya, that she was effing 2 men behind her soon to be ex-husband's back. She was still living with her husband at the time. And as I said before, we're going to see this sort of play out during the season before the reunion. Based on this article, they're saying that they don't see Latoya coming back. So who do you think came in number 4? Well, we were just talking about it, Drew. Drew comes in as number 4 as one of the women that really brought it in this reunion. And the last 2 women, I kind of predicted and kind of said at the top of the season that they shouldn't come back, but we'll get there. So Drew, in this particular situation, and this list of who brought it, this is not Tamara Tattle saying this. This is what this exclusive source is saying. Based on what they saw, this is how they would line up the women. Everyone has a different opinion. When we see the reunion, we'll need to do our own list. So according to Tamara Tattles, Drew came for Kenya asking why she always comes with a new girl. She gave an update on her and her husband's marriage counseling. Drew gave Latoya the business about everything from her past YouTube videos calling Black women monkeys. A bit, well, too bad Fallon was not there because she was not a contracted friend of. So Fallon is not at the reunion. And I really wanted that whole alleged Ching Chong accusation to come up. I don't think it does. Drew also confronted Latoya about tweeting her husband. She mentioned claims of Latoya shoplifting and trying to F a pastor. We saw that in a preview as well. She also did a good job on defense as opposed to Latoya. Drew didn't really start any arguments, but she did a good job at finishing them. You know, look, I always bring it back to the Taurus thing. Like, we don't start fights, but we have no problem finishing one. In regards to the most notable moment for Drew was her telling Kenya to make sure you get a refund in reference to her marriage to Mark Daly. I don't know about y'all. I want to like Drew, but her coming for Kenya, I just don't believe she's going to be that strong. But I'm willing to be wrong, and I'm going to continue to watch. Coming in at number 5, and this is a little surprising, but she is only a friend of the show. So she's not really fighting with a lot of people. They're saying that Marlo is playing both sides of the fence, even in the reunion. We saw her do it during the season. Well, basically at this reunion, her and Porsha, they have fallen out, but they've fallen out before. They'll find their way back to each other. But I am liking the reunion of Kenya and Marlo's friendship. And she's still very friendly with everyone else. And one of the reasons why her and Porsha are not friends right now is because she says that Porsha gave her an ultimatum. Either you be friends with me or you be friends with Kenya. And I believe that because Portia's immature. Also, Marlo confirmed that she also heard noises. But remember, she said it already when she was speaking with Kenya at the house in South Carolina. Candy said she heard the noises too. We'll get to Candy in a second. Mind you, we're on number 5 and we haven't mentioned Candy yet. Well, she also confirmed what she heard. That, of course, did not make Porsha happy. But my thing is, it's like, you're filming a show, Porsha. Like, I wouldn't care if the people confirm what they heard. You heard it, all right? You didn't say you heard me, but you heard it. At number 6, my girl Candy. Look, Candy brought Bolo, so to me, she saved the season because that continued on into this reunion. Candy doesn't really bring a lot in the situation. They say that she only confirmed that she heard noises, but like she said throughout the season, she didn't really add anything new to the story, which probably makes me worried for Candy and if Candy will return next season. I mean, luckily Candy's friends with everyone, and that's a good sign. And based on what Tamara Tao's source is saying, is that everyone did a good job at the reunion. However, Latoya might be the only one they don't see come back. They also mentioned the consensus of the group on who might have, I don't know why they even care, who spilled this information to Page 6. Why do they care? One of them did, or one of production did. The same person that leaked this information to Tamara Tattle is the person who leaked to Page 6. I don't care. Thank you for whoever did. Well, the consensus of the group, they think it was either Kenya or Latoya. Latoya was real desperate to be a part of this group. The fact that she was trying to plot storylines and do everything like that, it wouldn't shock me that she fed this to Page 6, honestly. And this is crazy. Shamia comes in number 7. And as you can naturally assume, Shamia has her best friend, Porsha's back throughout this reunion. Apparently, producers like Shamia. I like Shamia, but I don't know if I like her for the show. She's another Taurus sister, but I don't know if I like her for the show. But I've said to myself, I wouldn't like myself on a reality show. However, here we are. Apparently, they're also saying that Shamia will be coming back as a elevated friend of. So maybe we'll actually see her more like we see Marlo more. I mean, maybe she'll bring it. I don't know. Shamia, I just need you to stop doing the twerking every time you come in the scene. Like, now it's getting a little tired. Like, it's getting a little tired, Shamia. I know you guys are counting with me. So coming in at number 8, last but definitely not least, the legend, the icon, the supermodel, Cynthia Bailey, who had a wedding, a super spreader wedding that we've been talking about. Basically, there's only one line in this article about it. And we've been saying it. We saw in this last episode that Mike was saying, oh, we should buy a house together here in Atlanta. And we all took that as them trying to set up a new storyline for her for next season. I think this might be Cynthia Bailey's last season on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And it's okay, Cynthia. I know Cynthia has tried multiple businesses. Not sure if any of them have really been successful. I mean, they probably made a little change, but not as big as her Real Housewives of Atlanta check. And you know what? Everyone likes Cynthia. However, it might be the time. It might be the time. Maybe take a friend of role. Now, even that, I'm not even interested in a friend of role. I'm sorry, Cynthia. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on who you think, based on this list, brought it during the reunion. And we'll create our own list based on what I've told you, what people have said that happened during this reunion. Who do you think is number one? Who do you think is number two? Who do you think is number three? Look, the list seems pretty accurate to me. I mean, I have to see who I would put as number one versus number two. I was really leaning more towards Kenya, but I can see how Porsha, because Porsha has evolved. Don't get me wrong, and don't think I'm not team Porsha or I'm just team Kenya. I'm team make a great show. But Porsha has gotten better with her reads, and look, she's evolved since the Underground Railroad. Anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comments. As always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out when we go live or when we upload.